All right. I am thrilled. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. I'm so excited to be here. I have missed you guys. I truly have. Welcome to my home here in lovely Costa Rica. Pura vida to you. I'm really glad to be able to be back. We have been here now for 2 months. It was 2 months this week. So it's been cool getting adjusted and settled in and figuring out just what life looks like here. A friend of mine said the goal is to get here, the journey is to live here. And we are indeed embracing the journey of this. And it's been amazing. But I will say this, like, I want to unpack this for you all because this is about what we're looking at in this training today, which is how do you manifest the things that you want most? What does that look like? What does it take? We hear the buzzwords like manifestation and attraction, but really, what does that take? And so I can certainly say from this experience, because if I would have looked back a year ago, I had no idea that I would be sitting here now. Like, this was not in my 2022 plan, right? And I had a 2022 plan. That's what's crazy. I had it. However, this wasn't a part of it. And so this whole experience has unfolded so much for me in my soul, in how I'm walking through the world, and how I am serving. So that's where it comes into being impactful for you, because it's definitely changing how I'm serving and who I'm serving and what does that look like and what I can give and where I can come from. My come from is very, very different. So let me just give you a little bit of backstory because I think that this is super important to understanding how I got here. And then we're going to talk about what does it look like for you? What does it mean for you to be able to manifest in your life? So it was July 6th weekend. It was July 4th, which was the 6th. It was the 6th. It was July 4th weekend, but it was actually on the 6th. So it was right there during that time last year that I was talking to my mom and something crazy was happening in the United States. And I was just like, it is so crazy here. Let's go. And she looked at me dead in my eyes and she said, let's do it. Just like that. And from that moment, I literally like began putting things in motion. So I will add some context to this, right? So my mom and I lived just kind of down the street from each other in the United States, and my commitment has always been that I would never leave her. So for me, I was really tied in and locked in to the United States because of my commitment to live close to my mom and be able to be there to help her and have the kids grow up with her and all of those things, right? So it was super interesting when I said that to her because she's been in her house. She had been in her house at that point for 43 years. 43 years. So I kind of had just set in my mind that we're not going anywhere. We're not moving. Nothing is changing until like my mom transitions. That's honestly what my thought process was. So in this moment, when I say this to her, just kind of tongue in cheek, not meaning anything, and she says, "Let's do it." It was a game changer. Everything in that moment changed. And that is where we begin to put this whole idea in motion. But before that, it wasn't a possibility. So as we go through this whole manifestation conversation, and we're going to do it this week and next week, it's going to be a series of sorts. I want you to know to hold true to the idea that you have, to the dream that you have, because it can change just like that. You can collapse time. And on July 6th, that is what happened in that moment with that statement. Because what would have happened had I never made the statement? Right? So, yeah, it's been this little burning, simmering, we'll call it a simmering desire to move out of the country, but I didn't see how. Okay. From July 6th to December 6th, by December 6th, we were on a plane and we were out of there. And so it's been this really, it was a fast paced, breakneck, like just getting out for a lot of different reasons. school starts here at a different time. I wanted to get the kids settled in, blah, 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 the airplane tickets. So I had all of these reasons, but literally from July 6th, so that is August, September, October, November, December, 5 months later, we were gone. So I want to just come in today and share with you all that whatever it is that you're holding in your heart as a dream, as something that you desire, it's possible. And so if you have a dream that's just there simmering, I would love for you to put in the comments, I do. I do. Because one of the pieces of this is that as we begin to give voice to our truth, to our dreams, to our visions, then that way makes way for the universe to support us in that. And it's quite interesting. Had I not said that to my mother that day, would I be sitting here right now? No. And it seemed like it to me, it felt like such a flippant conversation. It felt like something that was just like, it wasn't even a conversation. It was a statement. It was a statement that I said. So before I drop the tidbit of the day, because that's what we're going to do, we're going to have in this training, in this series, I'm going to be breaking down like different pieces of how to manifest, And when I really looked back and unpacked my journey on getting here, yes, Sandra, I understood that there was a very much so a process. And so the first thing that I want to share with you is the power of your word. The power of your word. Every word that we speak is divine room service. What do I mean by that? That means that we're constantly placing orders to God, to the universe, whatever your higher, however you relate to your higher power in our words. So I'm always going to be broke. Oh, I can never find a great man. That is a room service. That is what you are ordering. You're placing that with your words. So you really want to guard your words. You want to be very careful with what you are saying and the order that you are placing to the divine, because we always are. Now, once you are clear on the thing that you want to create, right, and you begin to speak it, the number one thing that you have to do is have unshakable faith. So while I did not have any idea, any clue that I was going to be moving abroad last year, I have held in my space, in my heart, that moving abroad was a possibility. It was something that I've talked about at the dinner table. It was something that I had this vision of. I believed that I would be doing work abroad, and it was a part of my psyche, so that when I talked to a friend of mine and I said, hey, I just have something to tell you, and it's like, this is big, it's big information. I said, I'm moving abroad. And her response was not surprising to me at all, right? Because she knows me, she knows my soul, she knows what the vision has been, even though it was not a now vision, right? So the first piece of manifesting is being mindful. This is kind of a twofer. Being mindful of your words and understanding that you are always placing the room service, and be clear. I guess that's how we make it into one. You're always placing the room service, and be clear what that is, and unshakable in that. Okay. So what this looks like is, no matter what your circumstances are in this moment, you hold to and hold fast to the vision that you have for yourself, for your life, for your finances, for your health, for whatever it is, and be unshakable. Now, let me dig deep into this unshakable piece, right? So here is the reality. The reality of it is that there will be all kind of circumstances that are going to come and that are going to go, and people that are going to come and go, and that's cool. Always mindful of your words. Yes, ma'am, Miss Sandra. But here is the part that's super important. It is super important that you step into a space that for you understand where the end game is. Okay, so I'm going to use the Super Bowl. I'm not a football fan, you may not be, but just go with me here. The teams, the Eagles and the Chiefs, I'm proud of myself that I know that. If you haven't checked on Jalen Hurts, I'm just saying you may want to check on him, just for the girl power alone. Just for the girl power alone. Like, he has an all-female team. This is a commercial break, but super cool. He's breaking history because he has an all-female management team. Okay, now, which made me an Eagles fan because I didn't have a leaning one way or the other, but his all-girl team made me an Eagles fans. But this is what I want to say. Jalen Hurts, as well as, oh gosh, I can't even remember the Chiefs quarterback's name right now, but Patrick Mahomes. They didn't start this season like, I wonder where I want to be in February. They didn't wonder. They weren't shaky. They started this season believing and seeing themselves in the Super Bowl. That was the end. That was the end goal for their season. That's what they were shooting for. That's what they saw. It didn't matter whether there were injuries or if there were setbacks or if there were disruptions. That is what they saw for themselves in every game, every play, every practice, every meal, every time they laid their heads on the bed, they saw themselves there. And it is in that kind of unshakable vision, that's how you get there. That is how you get there. And guys, this is not something that is just like some woo-woo stuff. This is scientific. They have done studies. They did an amazing study, and they had one team of basketball players. Again, I'm using these sports analogies, which is funny because I'm not a sports person, but just go with me. They had basketball players. One team, they had them practice free throws, okay? And that was their part of their experiment. They had another team just visualize them practicing free throws. When they came together to kind of compare the two, do you know who made more free throws? The people who had visualized and they saw themselves making the free throws. Because what we can see, we can achieve. So sometimes people say, I have to see it to believe it. No. You have to believe it to see it. Have an unshakable vision, y'all, for what you want. Doesn't matter what the circumstances are, what your bank account says, what the scale says, what the relationship looks like. Have an unshakable vision of what you want. And don't let anything or anyone come in that is going to hinder you from really being able to achieve that. Being clear on what that is. And then with that clarity, as we talked about a few moments ago, connect your thought with your mouth, with your heart always, right? But so that you are speaking the things that you want most. This is how we make change. This is how we really move ourselves and put ourselves in the energy of attraction and manifestation. Okay, so let me just go back because I want to make sure that you get this before we bounce off, because these trainings are always going to be quick. I'm committed to being here on Thursdays at 11 a.m., coming and sprinkling a little juiciness into your Thursday and really giving you some nuggets of how do you go from where you are now to where you want to be. So this series, we're talking about like manifestation, but the whole goal is really being able to move you from where you are, wherever that is, to where you want to be in a healing and compassionate and safe space. I'm super excited that you all are here in our newly renovated space, Overachievers Anonymous. The goal is to provide you all with practical healing tips so that you can be restored to your divine blueprint of health. This is possible for us. This is absolutely something that you can see, do, create. And that's what this sacred space that we are recreating is really going to be all about. Okay, so yes, powerful visualization. Oh, I got one last thing to tell you about that. So a part of my morning practice is to visualize. And every day I would sit and I would visualize looking out of my window in Atlanta, looking over my yard and looking at my swimming pool and my guest house. I saw it, I felt it, I knew it, right? And my thought was that I was going to renovate my home and create this open concept space, that then I was going to, build out a swimming pool and guest house. That was my belief of how it was going to happen. So we're going to talk about this a little bit in the upcoming week, so I'm not going to give all of that away. But I just also want you to know, be able to see it. Be able to see it, visualize it perfectly. Think about how you're going to feel and how it's going to smell and all of the different things, but be unshakable. That is what I want you to know today, is that you get to have divine room service with every word that you speak. And then with that, with the divine room service, know what you're ordering. Like, you don't sit down at dinner and just say like, oh, bring me whatever bring me whatever you have that's good. No, you place an order because you want it to be what you want it to be. Know what you want it to be. And if you need support in knowing what you want, holler at me. I can help you crystallize that. I can help you get clear on what that looks like. Okay. All right. Last piece for today is, you have probably seen that I am introducing a new scorecard. It is amazing. It really will help you dial into what your self-care archetype is. Now, listen, in order to play here in this space, you're going to need to know. I'm going to drop the link here in the comments so that you can have it. In fact, I'm going to do that right now because I'm going to be a super achiever. I hope I don't mess up my... Am I there with y'all? Oh, shoot. In my super... Oh, no, there I am. Okay, good, good, good. This is my super achieving. I'm going to put it here. Not overachieving, super achieving. Because I want you to make sure that you take your scorecard and that you know whether you are Badass Betty, Zoned Out Zoe, Kitchen Sink Kelly. I want you to know who you are, because as we do our trainings, we are going to talk about that. I'm going to talk to you from that perspective so that you'll know what works specifically for you. All right. That is going to be a wrap for today. These are always going to be sweet, short, and powerful. I'm also going to be bringing in guests for you guys, so I'm super excited about that. I'd love to know in the comments, whether you're watching live or you're watching on the replay, what's the one nugget? What's the one nugget that is your takeaway from today? All right, sisters, much love to you. Happy, happy Thursday. And I will see you again here next Thursday. Don't forget to take the scorecard. I need to know who you are. I need to know who you are so I can speak directly to your heart. All right, much love. We'll talk later. Bye.